Hello and welcome back to my channel. My name's Beth and I like to read, but if you read my handle differently, you're still allowed to stay. Today I'm going to go rapid fire through my May TBR. Now my May TBR is going to be like a lot shorter than it normally is because I'm going to be spending so much of my free time sewing rather than reading, because I am making the gown that I'm going to wear to the Babe, the Ball Gowns and Books event in Sydney that's at the end of this month. So I have like a major deadline to get at least one dress, if not possibly two, sewn by the end of the month. So major deadlines, and I've got quite a few bookish commitments. It's gonna be a rough month for me, but I'm gonna give it everything that I've got. So I've got two on the agenda for my weekly book club, the first of which will be meeting on Tuesday, which is only like 3 days away, to discuss The Rebel Witch. We read Crimson Moth together last month and we'll be finishing the duology together. Won't speak too much about this because major spoilers for Crimson Moth, but I'm really excited. I liked the way that Crimson Moth ended and I'm really excited to get into this one and find out what the rest of the story is going to be, because I'm really nervous about completing that book in time. I think I'm actually going to get the audiobook and do the audio and physical together to try and increase my pace and reduce my kind of time pressure on that one. The second one we'll be reading to finish by the end of the month is Deep End by Ali Hazelwood. So our weekly book club is likely coming to an end, and we had read Bride together last year, so it's kind of nice that we're going to read another Ali Hazelwood together before we kind of finish things up next month, which will be our last book that we read together. But really excited to get into this one. I mean, personally, I've only heard fairly positive things about this book, and I'm quite excited to see something a little bit different from Ali and potentially some cameos. I've heard there might be some cameos from previous people in this book, so very excited to find out a little bit more about that one. I don't really know too much about Deep End. My understanding is, so there's two girls, our main girlie and her bestie. Her bestie was dating someone. They broke up because of incompatibility in the bedroom, but it turns out the ex and the bestie might be compatible, and so the main girl's bestie is like, why don't you guys hook up? I'm kind of into it. I'm keen to see what happens in that one. For my Canberra book club, we will be starting The Serpent and the Wings of Night. I'm actually really excited to get into this one. I've just realized how small the font is and now I'm getting like super nervous about being able to read this. It's fine, I can do all things, I just have to be really dedicated with my time this month. Again, it's something that I don't know a huge amount about this. We just read The Daughter of No Worlds last month and I absolutely loved that book, so I'm excited to go into this. I don't know much except there is vampires in here and maybe some trials and like the blurbs here, but I'm just not gonna read it because I think that I've had really good luck recently going into books blind and just kind of learning about the story, the world and the characters as I read. So really excited to read this, but again super nervous about the time constraints about getting everything done this month. It's our second last month of this cycle of the traveling book club, which is kind of sad, but it's also kind of exciting to see it come to an end. So I will be reading Kilt Trip. It hasn't arrived. There is a delay because some of the girls are behind schedule, so whilst it's on my TBR, I'm not sure if it's going to get to me this month or not, but it's still there. I still need to try and read it this month. Because I'm just mad, I will be doing a buddy read this month. So my friend Anita over on Bookstagram. So recently I connected, having read the Kingdom of Lies series. I loved it. I connected with who at the time was a stranger on Bookstagram who had posted stuff. I was messaging her updates as I was reading. Got to know this wonderful lady, Anita. Turns out we both live in the same city, and through pure coincidence she happened to join the Canberra book club that I started, and we've been just getting to know each other and having a great time. We're going to do a buddy read this month, so we're going to do Cruel is the Light by Sophie Clark. I keep going to say Sophie Lark, but it's Sophie Clark. Again, it's not one I know a huge amount of. I saw this on BookTube a lot. It was like last month or the month before. I was out with my book club girls. I just bought it because we were out and it was there. It's a pretty cover, so I'm excited to read this one with Anita and get to know her a little bit more. We seem to have fairly similar tastes, and it's super exciting because we're both based in the same city. Our buddy reads don't have to all be on like phone call or voice notes or whatever. We're planning to actually meet up a couple times and get to know each other, so really excited about this one. It's probably not the month for me to add in another buddy read, but I'm really excited about this one and sharing the experience with Anita and getting to know her better. So those are the 5 that I'm like they have to get read. I don't have a choice. You have to make the time to read these. I do have a couple that I'm still in the middle of from the crossover from last month. So still in the middle of Lady of Ashes. I really want to try and finish this one and the sequel that's getting released this month in time for Babe. I'm just not convinced it's going to happen. Melissa's coming to the event and I'm so excited to meet her because I've completely fallen in love with this series. I will try, but the dress needs to be my priority. I need to be clothed so that I can impress her when I come up to her desk with my handmade gown. I have about 200 pages of The Traitor Queen to go. The audiobook came like complimentary with my Audible subscription. I've been reading the book and the audiobook together. I tried to squeeze it through at the end of last month. It just didn't happen, and it kind of got to the point where it was like I was loving reading this so much. I didn't want to just try and like squeeze it out at the end of the month. I just wanted to enjoy the story and the process of reading. So still really enjoying this one. I reckon I'll have this one finished either today or tomorrow. Really enjoying it, and I think I'll make a vlog on the rest of this series, finishing the series. Super excited to finish this one. I'm going to be making a vlog. I'm not going to spoil too much about that, but I will be reading a whole bunch of audiobooks because I need to be entertained whilst I'm concentrating on sewing and doing things. So I won't spoil everything that I've kind of got in my plans because I might change it up. I'm currently halfway through the audiobook of Flawless by Elsie Silver, and I'm literally just listening to it as I sit and sew or pin or cut or whatever it is as part of this process. So I will likely be continuing this series, but there's plenty of options for me to continue on audiobook. If I can try and squeeze one more in, I really want to try and get to the sequel to Daughter of No World, Children of Fallen Gods. It's on KU. I just don't think I'm going to get to it. I think what I have is already super ambitious for the amount of time that I need to put into other activities this month. But it's good to have goals. It's always good to have goals. So with that being said, this is my stack for May. I've got anxiety just looking at this stack. I have no idea how I'm going to get to read all of them. My goal is to just stick to those 5 priorities for book clubs that I need to do. I'm actually super anxious about how am I possibly going to get all of this read. I think I'm going to have to go a couple of my book clubs on audiobook just to try and read them in time so that I can have a chat with the various different people that I'm reading them with. But that's a me problem for later. Thank you so much for watching. If you've read any of these books, I would love to hear your thoughts, whether you recommend, don't recommend. I'm going to be reading most of them anyway for book clubs anyway. If you're interested in seeing more of me chatting, I will be posting vlogs, probably not a lot this month if I'm being perfectly honest, but I've got a lot in the works. So click subscribe and I'll talk to you soon. I'll see you in the next video. Bye.